Did you know that nearly 1 in 5 people suffer from emotional distress due to irrational beliefs? Yes, you heard it right. It's an unseen epidemic sweeping across societies worldwide, quietly infiltrating our minds and lives. It's a silent battle fought within the confines of our thoughts and beliefs, often unnoticed by the outside world. This emotional distress manifests itself in various forms, from anxiety and depression to anger and relationship conflicts. It's a result of irrational beliefs, those distorted perceptions and misconceptions we hold about ourselves, others, and the world around us. These beliefs, however misplaced, have the power to shape our emotions, driving us into a state of constant distress and unease. It's a serious issue with ripple effects that extend far beyond the individual, impacting their relationships, productivity, and overall quality of life. But is there a solution to this widespread issue? Absolutely, let's delve into it. So what exactly is causing this emotional distress? The culprit, irrational beliefs. Now, what are these irrational beliefs? They are essentially thoughts that are not rooted in reality. They are beliefs that are not based on factual evidence, but rather on assumptions, false perceptions, and quite often, fear. Albert Ellis, the founder of rational emotive behavioral therapy, identified several types of irrational beliefs that can lead to emotional distress. The first type is demandingness. This is the belief that things must be as we want them to be. It's the insistence that life should conform to our desires and expectations, a belief that can lead to great frustration and disappointment when reality inevitably fails to meet these demands. The second type is awfulizing. This involves believing that situations are worse than they actually are. It's blowing things out of proportion, catastrophizing the ordinary ups and downs of life into insurmountable problems, leading to anxiety and despair. The third type is low frustration tolerance. This is the belief that we can't handle discomfort or adversity. It's the conviction that we are too weak to endure hardship, a belief that can lead to avoidance behavior and missed opportunities. The final type is self or other damning. This involves harsh judgment of oneself or others. It's the belief that we or others are bad or worthless because of certain behaviors or characteristics. This can lead to guilt, shame, and a damaged self-esteem. These irrational beliefs are incredibly powerful. They can shape our perception of reality, dictate our emotional responses, and ultimately determine our behavior. They can trap us in a cycle of emotional distress, fueling feelings of anxiety, depression, and frustration. But wait, you might be thinking, this all sounds rather bleak. And yes, the power of irrational beliefs can indeed be daunting. But here's the good news. We have the ability to challenge these beliefs, to dispute them, to replace them with more rational and healthier alternatives. These irrational beliefs lead us to emotional distress, but thankfully there's a solution: rational emotive behavioral therapy, or REBT. REBT, developed by Albert Ellis, is a cognitive behavioral approach that helps individuals challenge and change their irrational beliefs. At its core, REBT revolves around the ABC model. Let's break it down. A stands for activating event. This is the situation or event that triggers a reaction. It could be anything from a flat tire to a critical comment from a colleague. B stands for belief. Now, this is not about the event itself, but your interpretation or belief about that event. For instance, if your colleague criticizes your work, your belief could be that you're not good enough. C is the consequence. This refers to the emotional or behavioral outcome of your belief. If you believe you're not good enough, you might feel deflated or even depressed. But here's where REBT shines. D stands for disputation, the process of challenging these irrational beliefs. You question the evidence, the logic behind these beliefs. Perhaps your colleague's critique was not about your overall competence, but just about a specific task. Finally, E stands for effective new belief. This is the rational alternative that replaces the irrational belief, leading to healthier outcomes. Instead of thinking you're not good enough, you might believe that you can improve in a particular area. So, REBT is not just about identifying negative beliefs, it's about questioning them and replacing them with healthier, more rational beliefs. This shift in thinking empowers individuals to take control of their emotions, recognizing that their thoughts, not external events, are the primary drivers of their emotional distress. Imagine the power in that realization, that you have control over how you feel, that you can overcome anxiety, depression, and frustration by altering your beliefs about the events in your life. By mastering REBT, you can learn to manage your emotional distress effectively. It's about moving from a place of feeling stuck to a place of empowerment, where you have the tools to navigate life's ups and downs with resilience and rationality. A place where you are in control of your thoughts, your emotions, and ultimately your life. Now, how can we apply the principles of REBT in our daily lives to manage emotional distress? Let's start with disputation and emotional responsibility. Imagine you're faced with a stress-inducing situation, the A in our ABC model. Instead of immediately jumping to a negative belief or B, try challenging this belief. Ask yourself, what evidence supports this belief? Is it logical? Is it helpful? If you find your belief to be irrational, it's time for disputation, the D in our model. Disputation involves questioning the validity of your irrational belief. This is where you become your own defense attorney, presenting counter-arguments to your negative thoughts. For instance, if your belief is, I must be perfect at all times, you might argue, no one is perfect, everyone makes mistakes, and that's how we learn and grow. By engaging in this disputation process, you're taking responsibility for your emotions. You're acknowledging that it's not the event that's causing your distress, but rather your interpretation of it. This shift in perspective helps you to realize that you have control over your emotional responses. Once you've successfully disputed your irrational belief, it's time to replace it with an effective new belief, or E. This should be a rational alternative that leads to healthier emotional and behavioral outcomes. Using the previous example, your new belief might be, I strive for excellence, but I accept that I will make mistakes and learn from them. Adopting this more flexible and realistic mindset is key to reducing emotional distress such as anxiety, depression, and frustration. Remember, it's not about denying your feelings or pretending everything is fine. It's about recognizing that you have the power to influence your emotional state by changing your thoughts and beliefs. By applying REBT, you can take control of your thoughts and emotions, leading to improved emotional well-being. So the next time you find yourself in a challenging situation, remember the ABCDE of REBT. Dispute your irrational beliefs, embrace emotional responsibility, and adopt a more rational and flexible mindset. You'll be surprised at the positive impact it can have on your everyday life.